Hey guys, Rob from the Off-Grid Tiny House. I have the stove completely damped down now because we were going a little overboard. I think I overloaded the stove a tad, but I'm trying to speed up the process, but I don't think it's gonna work. What I've been doing is right here you can see I got the barrel stove going away here. Got all the windows and doors open because it's extremely toasty in here. And basically I've taken my little scooper and these trays are aluminum trays full of sand. And the reason I need reason I'm doing this, guys, is I gotta cook the moisture out of this sand before it gets placed in the battery box. You guys can see the difference in the color there. So it's obviously working. I'm just occasionally stirring the sand around to see if it's cooking through, and it seems to be. I haven't put my hand on the sand yet, but I'll do that shortly. But I've been just kind of stirring this around, making sure all the moisture is getting totally cooked out here, nice and dry. And then each of these trays will be then dumped into the bottom of the battery bank box as a 2-inch foundation. So there you go. Somebody's here, so I'm gonna go see who that is. Could be my dad, probably. So be back in a bit. Occasionally you could see a little steam coming off, guys. This stuff is very warm now. I put my hand on it, so I'm just letting it go through. We're over in the extreme cooking zone, so like I said, I cut the air off to the fireplace, but it doesn't really matter for this guy. It's a beast, so it's just gonna take a while to burn that stuff down. This will clean out any of my pipes in the meantime. I got a little fan set up because I don't have a ceiling fan hooked up to this bad boy yet, which I definitely need just above here to circulate some air, because this thing is cooking. So I'll continue cooking and see how much I can get done today. It's going to be a tedious project, for sure. I probably won't have any power here on Friday if I stay over, so who knows. Alright guys, I'm going to show you something here before I start stirring. Here's the color difference between this. This guy is where the majority of the heat is on the barrel stove. And if you keep watching, ever so often you'll see the steam shoot up out of here. See that? Hopefully it's caught on camera for you. I'll keep moving around. I'm just cooking out all the possible moisture of this sand. And I gotta keep stirring it like you're cooking something on a stove, right? Because you gotta agitate to move the moisture out of the material. See that? So I'm assuming once this gets super dark, it will be done. And we'll go from there. So we'll see how that works out. I'm sure if I get the majority of that out, we'll know. Now let's try this stuff. This stuff is not, it's closer to the front of the stove, so there's still going to be heat there, but not as intense as this guy is. And you can see the color difference there quite a bit. So I may have to move this guy over here eventually to finish him off, which is no problem.
Restore Water Center, they relieve the pain and they increase function, allowing you to do the things you want to do. So don't just sit by dealing with the pain.
So I'll just keep playing in the sand here at the off-grid tiny house, guys. And I'll get back to you once we get a little further along. The stove's finally coming down, so it's about just above 300, close to 400 Fahrenheit. And I'm gonna keep cooking sand, and haven't dumped any in the battery box yet because I want to make sure I get the majority of the moisture out of there, because I don't need any wet rot or anything on the wood. But the battery box has been completely treated with polyurethane, so it's waterproof. But still, the more I remove now, the better in the future, right? So take my time, do it right, and go from there. See you in a bit. Hey guys, my brother was here. He's down today, staying over. So we're having our big celebration here for his visit. I figured out the sand. It holds the heat for a long time. I put this guy over there for a half hour and it's still kicking hot. And this is about the consistency. This one's darker because it's in the shade of the. They're about the same. This one's a little darker. This one's not bad. I can put him back over here because I'm waiting for this one to kick off. Now I'm trying to let the stove die right down. I closed it off because they want to go eat soon, and I'm still doing this shit, so it's gonna be a while. So I gotta move this around. I might put that one right here, but that's the consistency, guys, and I'm just letting it sit out. And I got this fan blowing across the barrel just to help out a little bit because it's super hot. It's throwing the heat in here. Let me go see if I can get a temperature reading. My dad's put 33.4 degrees Celsius in here. And that's indoor temperatures, and that's blocked by this cabinet, so it's warm as hell in here. It's gonna dry everything out, which is good. But yeah, so my brother got to see the construction mayhem in here, and it's quite something. So let's set up the camera so I'm not making everybody seasick. I think I already did, but here we go. I'll put that other tray up there just for the hell of it. I wanted to dump the first tray into the battery box, but it's still super hot. The sand is holding that heat really well. So I'll just put him up here, and that's basically all I have to do. I love my UV gloves. Best thing going if you own a wood stove. Makes it very awesome for handling hot stuff. So I'm just gonna keep him. This is like the passive spot. Just let him passively suck up any more heat to get any moisture out of here. But so far so good. And then this guy should be really turning colors now. I had to switch to the metal spatula because my plastic little scooper there was starting to get a little toasty. Didn't want to melt it or ruin it because I use that for scooping the sand out and for using in my composting toilet. Obviously cleaned. I use it for adding peat moss to the composting toilet, I should say. But obviously cleaned it before using it to transfer sand. Unbelievable how this sand holds the heat so well. Wow. Pretty amazing stuff. There we go. So we're rapidly dropping now, which is good. That's what I want. That was quite the pain in the you-know-what. This jumped all the way up to overfire again, and it's not a good thing, guys. Not at all. So probably most of the fuel has burned out. That's what I'm assuming. This has been closed down forever, damped totally off, and it's still throwing heat out. That's why I really don't even need the Mylar in the tiny house anymore, because the barrel stove works so well. Highly recommend anybody going off the grid or in a super cold area, if you have really crappy insulation, put one of these in. Even if you have a giant house, it'll do it. Doesn't matter. Friggin' awesome. Barrel stoves are the cat's meow. Super efficient. I don't care what the government says, because you basically use hardly any wood, and it throws the heat everywhere. Now obviously you can get 55-gallon barrels fairly cheap and fairly readily available everywhere. I may still get another one just as a backup. But yeah, so in here I got the Mylar, and everything's metal and Mylar. Once the sand starts going in, we can clean it up a little bit more. But I'm not putting in that hot sand in there just yet, because I'm about to take off. Maybe I'll come back later tonight, probably, and go from there on that. But so far so good here at the Off-Grid Tiny House. Also some good news that I'll get to in a prepping video, so be back in a bit.